truck really does run good. And you know, he had this truck in Daytona, and it hauled that Spirit of Monroe, which was, you know, the deal that they did, the world's fastest Indian and all that stuff.
Did they put it back in the bed and hauled it around, or was that the?
They had a trailer. They pulled a trailer with it with that Spirit of Monroe, Burt Monroe's bike in the back. Okay, let's go outside and look at the 39.
I can't wait to look at that 39.
Let's go. So, what I like about it is that it's a survivor. You know, because 10, 20 years ago, the trend was to redo them and paint them. Just completely repaint them.
I like the way it looks right now.
I do too, because that's kind of the going style. It's that survivor look, that barn find or garage find or whatever.
I think this is a little bit nicer than a barn find.
Well, you know what I mean. It's got that look to it. So do you know the story about the truck?
I do. It was a one family owner from El Paso.
Well, yeah, one family owned it in El Paso for 60-something years.
Amazing.
Yeah, and they drove it for a long time. And the reason it's painted orange and the interior is orange and the sticker on the back, that tiger, that orange tiger with the E, that's El Paso, where the truck is from.
I was wondering what that meant.
Yeah, so the guy was a booster for El Paso High School, the El Paso Tigers. And so that's why he's got some of the orange on there.
This is a neat truck.
It is neat. So the guy had it for 60-something years. He drove it for a long time. Then it sat in his garage for 30 years. And then his grandson wasn't driving it, and then offered it up to a friend of ours, and he drove it for 10 years. And you remember he took it on a trip.
He took it about 800 miles to, I don't know, somewhere.
Yeah, I think he took it down to South Florida.
You know, he even took it to Sturgis and put a flat track bike in it.
Yep. Yeah. No, I mean it's a driver. He's got, you know, so they went in and they put a. Let's look at the motor. He put a 283.
A Chevy in the Ford.
A little Chevy 283 hot rod motor in it in the 50s. So that motor's got an Offenhauser intake on it. It's got Corvette valve covers on it. I mean, the motor was put in the 50s as a hot rod motor, like the original hot rod motors, and then about 5 or 6 years ago, he had the motor completely gone through. So even the running gear, everything on this car, on this truck, has been gone through to make it where you can drive it.
Well, it runs great.
It does, and
That's what the sign says.
It does. He wants to keep it the original look, but the running gear's gone through, the transmission's gone through, the motor's gone through. It's got an Offenhauser bell housing covers and all that's been gone through. I mean, it's been updated, so it's a runner.
It's been updated, yet still looks original.
That's the whole thing. So here at Strokers Dallas and Punchwally Garage, we are selling hot rods and classic cars now, which I think is pretty cool. So what we're going to do is, like this one is parked out here, we're going to park them all along here, and this parking will only be for classic cars and hot rods once we start getting some more.
That you're selling?
That we're selling, yeah, because one, we get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people every weekend that come through here that will see it. But then number two, the street that we're on, Harry Hines, gets over 50,000 cars a day go up and down this street.
Do you think that'll bring people in?
Absolutely. I mean, I sold the 65 Ford van sitting here. I sold the 63 Riviera sitting here. I sold that Corvette sitting here. I mean, you know, it gets a lot of traffic. So if you got a hot rod or a classic car that you want to sell, come see me and we'll sell it for you. So what I'm thinking is now we take it for a ride.
Let's go.
You want to go?
Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Notice it's got a good sound to it, but the motor is actually quiet, but the exhaust.
What's this? The brake?
Yeah, that's the brake. So what they did was he had a new exhaust put on this truck, but he cut off the tips of the old exhaust because he didn't want it to be an old looking truck with a brand new exhaust tailpipes.
Yeah, I love the sound of this.
I do too.
I'm glad you know how to drive this thing. Is this so?
I've been around a long time, so I've driven a little bit of everything.
That's kind of like that time you told your mom, I can't believe you know how to drive a stick.
Yeah, and she said, "Hey, Don, what do you think I learned to drive on?" Oh yeah.
You know, most people even my age don't know how to drive a stick.
I know you do.
Yeah. I learned on Nell's Camaro.
Did you?
Hit that horn.
That Cayuga horn. A truck like this has got to have that.
So if you'll notice the El Paso orange interior, I think it looks sharp.
Yeah, the El Paso orange interior was done, you know, because El Paso High School is orange and black, and across the border into Mexico from El Paso is Juarez, which is a huge city.
Have you been?
Oh yeah. Hey, when you're a teenager, trips to Mexico are a couple of times a year thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. You go on that trip, you bring stuff back with you didn't leave with. I ain't kidding either. So yeah.
Like souvenirs?
Oh yeah, souvenirs. Yeah.
I love me a good souvenir.
Oh yeah, they got them there. But this truck really does drive good.
Yeah, it does.
And you know, and you think, oh no, he took this 1939 truck on an 800-mile trip. Baloney. He did.
Yeah.
He did.
It really does. I thought it was going to be really awful to ride in.
No, I mean, you know, it rides like an old truck, but it rides like an old truck that's been updated, so you don't have to worry about it breaking down. Yeah. And in El Paso, which reminds me of the radiator, he redid the radiator by keeping the old frame to the radiator to where it still looks original, but he's put modern core in it, so it doesn't, you know, no matter how hot it gets, it ain't going to overheat. No, I like this truck.
Yeah,
I'd like to buy it. So the price is $25 grand, which is really worth it to me.
Yeah.
I think so. Two people have owned this truck basically since it was new. You know, the family, it was in El Paso for all those years. In the last 10 years, it's been in Austin, Texas. So there's very little rust on it, you know, a little bit of surface rust here and there, but that's about it.
Well, I mean, you have to expect that, and I like that there's surface rust on what's the patina or whatever it's called.
You know, they call them survivors, and they call them barn finds and garage finds and all that.
Yeah, but this is a lot nicer than your, like, typical barn find, you know?
Yeah, it is, but, you know, to me it's like, maybe it's because of my age, but I love that old farm truck look to it. You know, almost like Jezebel up here, you know, my 57 Chevy. You know, the having them custom painted and all that, man, that's beautiful and that's awesome. But not everything looks good like that.
The thing that blows my mind on this truck is this knob. And I had asked you yesterday what that knob did, and Dad said, it opens the windshield. And I went, what? That blew my mind.
Yeah, so the windshield, the bottom of the windshield opens up, and that's how you got air into the cab.
Why don't you just roll down the window like normal?
Well, you can do that too. You can do that too. No, the truck really does run good, and you know, he had this truck in Daytona, and it hauled that Spirit of Monroe, which was, you know, the deal that they did, the world's fastest Indian and all that stuff.
Didn't they put it back in the bed and hauled it around, or was that the?
They had a trailer. They pulled it. They pulled a trailer with it with that Spirit of Monroe, Burt Monroe's bike in the back, which reminds me about the bed. They took a piece of steel and cut perfectly to the bed and put it in the bed to give it more weight in the back.
Why?
Basically just to build up.
High punch, Wally.
It gives you a little more traction. truck really runs good.
Yeah, it does.
I dig it.
So do I.
I'd like to
How's
have
that power steering? Get it?
power. Yeah,
Gear
it's got
power. Manpower.
strong arm steering.
Strong arm steering.
Armstrong steering.
I forgot that's what you called it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I like how the pedals are like OG.
Well, this whole truck's OG.
Yeah.
But I mean, it drives fine. Drives good, looks
Well,
good.
yeah, that's the thing that blows my mind is I thought we were gonna be, our teeth were gonna be rattling out of our heads.
I drove it yesterday, and people about went nuts trying to give me the thumbs up and honking horns and stuff.
Yeah, that's what our buddy said whenever he had it in Austin. I mean, people just went wild every time he drove it.
That's how it is, because people just don't see. When I stopped over there for a train a while ago, one of the guys from the Dart bus station was walking, and I saw him in my mirror walking. I was waiting on a train. Then he started walking backwards, and he about tripped and fell down because he was trying to look at the truck so much. But it's an awesome truck. It is for sale here at Strokers Dallas, Punchwally Garage.
I was like, oh, you're gonna say the wrong company.
So you can give me a call, 214-357-0707, or you can email me, rick@strokersdallas.com, and I have a whole list of upgrades and stuff, you know, if you want to get more information on the truck. I've got plenty of information. So having said that, you got anything else?
Strokers Dallas merch.
MERCH.com.
.com.
So also, you know, while you're watching the video and fooling around on the computer,
You know what you ought to do?
you know what you ought to do? What, Bigun?
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
How do they get there?
Go
Strokers
ahead.
Dallas on YouTube, and then you click on
Subscribe.
and then you can click on the bell for the alert kind of thing.
Yeah, and it'll ding every time we post something new.
Yeah, and we've got 400 and something videos on there, so it's some cool stuff. Got anything else? You gonna go eat some barbecue or something?
I love barbecue.
I love barbecue. This is Texas. Let's go eat barbecue.
Bye, Bigun.
See ya.